Debo breathes heavily, sweat beading on his face as he grips his sword and whispers, "Huh, huh," through labored breaths. Aaron emerges from swirling flames and asks, "So, have you made a good sword now?" Flames burst from the rocky ground in brilliant orange streaks. Aaron falls through the air, tumbling past wooden beams as motion lines streak around him. Aaron tumbles through swirling flames that spiral around wooden beams and rocky surfaces. The fiery energy continues its relentless descent through the cavern. Aaron's eyes blaze with supernatural light as he channels raw magical energy into a devastating flame attack. Aaron's blade cuts through the air as explosive flames erupt across the rocky terrain. The magical fire engulfs everything in its path, consuming the landscape in brilliant orange light. The creature's glowing eyes pierce through the darkness as it roars in fury. Blazing energy erupts outward in a brilliant cascade of orange and yellow flames. Aaron strikes forward with tremendous force, his fist connecting as the impact reverberates through the air. The explosive energy dissipates as Aaron emerges from the settling flames and debris. Brilliant orange energy beams slice through the air with devastating force. Debo gasps in shock as the attack closes in on him. Aaron strikes with devastating force as he calls out an apology for the bidirectional attack. A brilliant red energy ring pulses through the air with mystical force. Aaron unleashes a blazing flame attack from above, while saying he's been on the right side all along, as Debo braces defensively below with his weapon raised. Aaron crashes downward through the air, as multiple explosive blasts erupt around him with tremendous force. Debo crashes against the stone wall, blood streaming from his wounds, as the impact reverberates through the cavern. He slides down the curved wall, leaving a trail of blood as debris continues to fall around him. Aaron swings through the air on climbing gear, his axe gleaming as he descends rapidly toward the rocky terrain below. Debo crashes into the wall with tremendous force, his body slamming against the surface as fiery energy erupts around the impact point. Aaron's face emerges from shadow, his expression intense and focused. Debo cries out in pain as he strikes the rocky wall, debris scattering from the impact. Blood sprays across the scene as fangs gleam menacingly in an open mouth. Aaron emerges from the shadows as flames burst upward around the rocky terrain. Aaron cries out in pain as he's struck down, his anguished scream echoing through the rocky terrain. A massive crystalline formation begins to emerge, its blue energy crackling with power. The massive ice formation crashes down with tremendous force, shattering against the ground as Aaron plummets within its crystalline embrace. Debo crashes through the rocky terrain with explosive force, debris scattering around him as he exclaims in surprise. Blue energy crackles around fingertips as power builds in preparation. Debo grits his teeth in determination, surrounded by crackling blue energy as he declares, "I'll do it cutely." Massive boulders hurtle through the air with tremendous force, trailing energy streaks. Aaron deflects the attack with swift precision, his weapon gleaming as debris scatters around him. Aaron crashes into the massive creature's jaws, his weapon striking against the beast's teeth as impact ripples through the air. The creature's eyes glow with purple energy as Aaron tumbles away from its enormous head, dwarfed by its size. Aaron strikes with devastating force as rocky debris explodes outward from the impact, shouting, "Damn it, it's over." Debo swings his weapon in a wide arc, cyan energy trailing behind the blade as he strikes. The massive beast looms above with glowing yellow eyes as Eren calls out through the chaos. Finally, Debo. A brilliant pink energy beam erupts from above, cutting through the air as Debo braces against the magical assault. The attack strikes with tremendous force, sending shockwaves through the rocky terrain. Debo hits the ground hard and gasps in confusion. "What?" he exclaims. The massive creature crashes down with tremendous impact, its bulk hitting the ground. Auron's bloodied hands reach upward as he exclaims, "What?" A blade cuts through the air with swift precision. A massive explosion erupts through the rocky canyon as brilliant energy tears through stone and debris. Debo lies battered against the canyon floor, his shirt torn and body covered in cuts from the blast. Something shifts in the aftermath of the explosion. Auron strikes with deadly precision, his blade cutting through the air as he declares, "It's not over yet, you bastard." Auron's blade strikes true, piercing deep into his opponent's chest. A brilliant explosion of energy erupts from the impact point. The energy blast radiates outward in brilliant waves. A weapon spins through the churning water with a sharp whoosh. Auron emerges from the depths, his fist glowing with crackling energy as he shouts. Auron strikes with tremendous force, his weapon cutting through a torrent of rushing water. Auron brings his massive axe down with devastating force, the blade cleaving through the air. The attack connects with explosive impact. Auron's face contorts in agony as dark energy swirls around him, and he cries out, "The desert calls to me." Explosive energy bursts erupt around them as the battle intensifies with crackling magical force. The impact sends Eren flying through the air as blood sprays from the devastating blow. Auron crashes hard against the rocky ground, his body crumpled from the force. The explosive impact tears through the air with tremendous force, sending debris and energy cascading in all directions. Eren plummets toward the rocky canyon floor far below. He strikes the ground with crushing impact. Auron pushes himself up from the rocky ground, blood streaming down his face. He rises to his feet beneath the towering canyon walls, gripping his weapon as he steadies himself. The massive attack crashes down with tremendous force. Blazing energy streaks slice through the air as Debo braces against the overwhelming magical assault. The devastating energy blast engulfs everything in a spiraling vortex of flame and light. The swirling vortex of flame and energy consumes everything in its path, creating a devastating spiral of destruction. The explosion roars with tremendous force as flames consume everything in sight. The explosive flames rage with overwhelming force. Auron collapses to his knees, gasping, "No, no," as he struggles through his ordeal. Wrapped in a brown cloak against the cloudy sky, the figure gazes ahead with a weary but resolute expression. Debo's battered face shows the toll of battle as he speaks with quiet gratitude. "Thank you." Massive purple and orange magical energies explode outward with tremendous force. Thunderous crackling fills the air as massive flames surge upward around silhouetted figures below. Under the starlit night sky, Debo stands before white stone buildings, bathed in moonlight. Auron peers around cautiously in the dim light. "Found it," he says quietly, gesturing with his hand. Auron sits alone at a simple table, speaking quietly. "It was there," she says, then pauses in the darkness before continuing softly, "I ate well." Erin hears the sound of approaching footsteps echoing from outside the door. Arin peers through the wooden doorway, her eyes wide with concern, as she whispers, "Sister." Debo sits exhausted against a wooden post, his torn shirt clinging to his muscular frame as he catches his breath. "Hyung?" he calls out softly. Arin's eyes remain closed, tears streaming down her face as she whispers, "I'm glad you're okay." Golden energy surges around Erin as she channels her power with a resonant whoosh echoing through the night air. Erin whispers, "Come on," as flames surge around the rocky landscape. Sharp cracks echo through the air as the magical forces collide.